Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Golf Business Live, powered by Tag Marshall. I am your host, Michael Williams, and we are bringing you just the best of this game and business that we love, which is golf. We have a great show for you today. I'm still buzzing from the just magnificent golf season that we had, both on the course and off the course. We had just record-breaking numbers there, and they continue to grow. We hope that continues for a long, long time. We know you guys are working very, very hard to make sure that happens. So we're going to have two segments for you today. Our first segment will be Inside Golf Business, and we'll have some people who are doing what you do, and they'll tell you how they do it and why it's working so well for them. And then we're going to have a section that we did previously, we filmed previously, which was from TechCon, the recent TechCon 2025, just outside Dallas, Texas. And I'll be talking to one of the guests down there. So strap yourself in. It's going to be a great show. As I said before, there are people who are having great golf years, some record-setting years. We know that doesn't happen by accident. And joining us now are two people who really, really work hard to make that during the season and during the off season as well. That's one thing we tend to take for granted is what happens during the off season. I know when I was in the business, we paddled very, very hard. From November to March, we had a lot of paddling that was going on to prepare for the season. So joining us to talk about what they did this year and what they're planning to do for next year are two guys who know the business very, very well. Both are from Garland Lodge and Golf Resort. Please welcome General Manager Dave Sanderson and Director of Golf Shane Riley. David, Shane, welcome.
Thanks, Michael.
How are you here? Good. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'll start off with you, David, with a very simple question. 2025, how was it? Was it great for you? It was pretty good for the industry. Was this great for Garland Lodge and Golf Resort as it was for the industry as a whole?
Yeah, no, we had a great season. Obviously, like you just said, golf is continuing this steep incline, and we are excited to keep it going. And we had an unbelievable season. Rounds were up, room nights are up. The participation across the board at the resort just seemed to take off all year long. It was a great season.
That's fantastic. And I'll just put a follow-up on there. Is there anything in particular that you've done different, or do you attribute the growth of the game just to the renewed interest post-pandemic of golf?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of both. Absolutely. Taking off with the rise post-COVID. We continue to generate rounds and business from that. There's been a bigger interest within the memberships in Northern Michigan as well for people looking to get away. And it's just trying to focus on our marketing objectives and what we can do each season to strengthen our brand in our state and in the region.
Okay, terrific. Shane, I'll turn over the same questions to you. What are your thoughts on the 2025 season? The highlights of the season, and do you think that the season was as good for you as it was apparently for the rest of the golf industry?
I do. It's a unique question to me this year, being my first year here at Garland. So it was also a learning experience for me, but I would say it was a fantastic year. And to add one more element to what you two were just discussing, I think that part of our success and part of the success for golf as a whole is social media and the influencers that are out there. I can say firsthand that, if you come up here on a Thursday and you're here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll have 3 or 4 groups of 20 to 40 players playing a 2, 3, 4 day Ryder Cup. And a lot of that inspiration came from the social media influencers that you see today.
Interesting. That's really an interesting point, that social media still has that ability to grab onto the profit sheet of a particular institution and really make it grow, really make a difference. David, I'm going to go back to you and brag a little bit. Talk to people who may not know about Garland Lodge and Golf Resort. Talk a little bit about what you have there to offer, all the facilities, all the golf and things on and off the course.
Yeah, no, we have a little bit of everything in the golf world. We're lucky to have 4 wonderful golf courses, championship courses, and then we opened up the Sawyer, our new 10-hole reversible short course this season. The construction took about a year for that, and we're very excited about that moving forward. And we have numerous lodging accommodations here that run from a standard lodge room in our main lodge, which at one point in time was the largest log cabin east of the Mississippi, all the way to 4-bedroom villas with other villas and cottages in between. So with all that, the golf, the lodging, and a wonderful food and beverage team and an excellent executive chef brings the destination to Garland. It makes us what we are. And we're in a pretty rural area. So we're a destination about 3 hours north of Detroit for those that are familiar with the state. So it's a getaway destination for our customers. And then we're also lucky to have a pretty affluent membership that likes to play golf. And we do 5 or 6 member tournaments every season. And we're lucky to have about 250 members that are around the resort on any given time as well.
Okay. And Shane, your public golf, open, tee times, and membership both combined. Is that correct?
Public play, membership, and our stay and play packages, which we're already booking for 2026 right now.
Wow. So in terms of rounds, about what are you doing on an annual basis?
This year we did a little over 62,000, which is about 1,000 up from last year. So we're pretty happy with that.
Yeah. That's a really, really solid number. Congratulations on that. Especially if I'm getting it right based on the location, your season lasts pretty much until right now.
It's about a 5-month season. In reality, it's a 5-month season.
Yeah. So I know that when I was running golf courses in DC, November to March, as I said, we may be lucky and get some rounds in the winter time, but usually that was when we were sort of planning things and assessing our previous year or current year, if you will, and planning the year that was to come. And I'm sure that you're in that position now. David, I'll go to you first. For you as general manager, what are you assessing? How are you assessing the success from last year? And what are your plans going into 2026 for doing things a little bit special, or a little bit different?
Yeah, no, I mean, the planning for the offseason really starts in July when we're working with a team to get our calendar together for the wintertime with our limited winter operations. But operationally, it's diving into our labor costs, our cost of goods, our food costs, and how can we manage that and make those numbers better to keep the bottom line growing every season.
So when you look at labor costs, let's stop there for a minute. Are you finding that things like AI are allowing you right now to reduce your costs, or is that something you see more as a factor in the future?
It's definitely a factor in the future. Shane and I were lucky enough to be at TechCon, and there's a lot out there that we look to explore here in this actual off season to implement some new softwares and efficiencies across the property to help that grow, and that will definitely save labor in a state that labor costs are going to continue to rise over the next few years.
Well, I think that's everywhere on the planet, but it's a problem that everybody has faced or will face in the near future. Shane, I'll go over to you. When you look at the season and you're planning for next season, what are some of your things that you emphasize going into, assessing last season and going into the coming season?
One thing we made a point to really implement this year was just our basic customer service from the minute the customer arrives here. I've spent at length talking with a lot of our bag drop and our player assistants and our starters on the golf course, because here it's unique. When we have a group of 6, 8, 12, 20 players, they all have to check into the lodge, but they don't all have to check into the golf shop. So if you're up here with a group of 12 of your buddies, one person comes in and gets that starter ticket, and they might not interact with our management team at the counter in the golf shop, but they interact every day, multiple times a day, with the bag drop attendants, the player assistants, and the starters. And we just emphasize their importance to the customer experience and journey from the minute they got here to the minute they left. And we're just going to continue to emphasize that next year and really grow our skills out there.
That's really interesting to me, that you're focused on the people and how they behave with your customers. Are you doing any special training for that, or how do you give them the quote unquote Garland way, if I will?
We started doing some training videos this fall, and we're going to continue to do that next spring. But It really is just a matter of your professional staff, your golf professional, your assistant golf professional, taking the time out of their day to talk with the kids at bag drop and the people on the golf course, and just letting them know how important they really are.
Yeah. That's really special. That every employee, every person, every customer feels special when they come to the place. That's what they tell people about. That's what keeps them coming back. And that's what they tell to other people to make sure that you get new customers as well. David, I guess you would concur with that, right? The people are the thing, both on the customer side and the employee side.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There's no shortage of competition for golf in Michigan. So we're always looking for ways to stay one step ahead of our competition, even though we work closely with them on a daily basis, really. But yeah, absolutely, Shane hit it across the board. If you can make that customer feel welcome from the time they step on property to the time they leave, and even if there is a bad experience, catching that bad experience early on, so we can fix it moving forward and focus on the steps of customer service and in turn customer retention at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just go to some of the things that we do here together at NGCOA and with you and your company. We'll start off with TechCon, which is the most recent thing. I know that you guys both attended TechCon. Were there any highlights for you, Dave? I'll stay with you. What were the highlights of the show and the talk with you? And that includes things that came off the stage and things that you may have encountered when you were just walking around.
Yeah, no, it was a great conference. TechCon's one of my favorites. That was my second one. I think the main benefit, and Shane would probably agree, obviously we have all of the companies and the sponsors there at our disposal to learn from them, but sitting around the table and speaking with them and working on ideas together with the actual sponsors and other attendees, I always gain a lot of insight coming out of these conferences. And with TechCon, having those companies there where I'm actually able to speak with them in person and learn about their products and that firsthand instead of on a Zoom call and a demo, and learning about the new AI phone systems and the numerous golf management systems and simulators. It really is one of my favorite ones.
And with that AI and the new systems, I'll stay with you, David, and I'll come over to you, Shane, for your opinion. David, do you think that you saw things that you're ready to implement now, just based on the potential that they have to change your business? Or do you think you'll be taking a look at how they operate in other places and then take a more, as a gallant or patient approach with that sort of adoption of new technology?
I think there's a couple things out there that we can look at implementing pretty early on. With our scope of our property and the number of 250 employees and reservations department, sales department, and the golf shop and food and beverage, we have so many phone calls coming in on a daily basis. And I think that's going to be one of the first things that we can implement here, because it's been tested, not just in golf, but across the country and every other industry as well, that we can trust that one to come in without many hiccups. And there's some other things out there that Shane's been working with and we've been talking about that we'll slow roll out over the next couple of years as well.
Wow, fantastic. Shane, from your perspective, do you see things at TechCon that really excited you and made you want to implement them right away? Or did you see some ideas? Was it more of an ideas conference for you that you'll want to watch how they develop over the course of the coming season or more?
I'd say it was a little bit of both. And I just want to take one quick second and give a quick plug to Harvey Silverman and the NGCOA team. For those that did not attend the Tea Time Summit, I hope they do the next time, because that Monday Tea Time Summit was absolutely phenomenal. So just quick plug to those guys. Kudos to the team and Harvey. But what I thought was really interesting, and if you've talked to people that have been in the business as long as we have or longer, a lot of them will tell you that the golf industry is 10 years behind when it comes to technology. And they'll also say that we are afraid to adapt and change to it. And I would agree, but I also think that trend is changing, and there's a few more people willing and able to, embrace that fear of the technology. So I think that's exciting, but I think that we took things out of it that we're going to start implementing right now. One of the things they talked about down there and there was some disagreement about it, was the death of SEO in the near future and AEO becoming the more prominent of the optimizations. And, I talked with many people at length after that session, and I would say that most people disagree. They think SEO is going to be around for a long time, but I thought it was really interesting that only 12% of the golf courses in the United States currently, as of TechCon, were AEO current with their marketing. And that was one of the first things I brought back when we sat down in our marketing meeting, because, I want to be ahead of the competition, especially up here. So I was excited. That's one of the things we're already working on. And there's a few more things that I think in the next year or two we'll be doing up here for sure.
That's interesting. The idea of staying ahead of the competition rather than staying equal with the competition. I think you've hit on something there, that golf tends to do the equal move rather than the trendsetter. You don't see a lot of trendsetters in the game.
Correct.
I get that. So you mentioned some things that have to do with the people, connecting with people, purchasing and things like that. Was there anything that you saw, Shane, about course care, agriculture, things like that would be relevant for your property?
I think what the GPS systems are doing now, and their ability to track where the traffic is on the golf course, and a few things, and how they're able to track retail and optimize their ordering so they're not inventory heavy. There's a lot out there. It's almost overwhelming, to be honest with you.
A lot. Yeah. It really is. It's kind of overwhelming. I think that's a perfect word for it. And David, you're the one who has to pick and choose and say, there's a lot out there, but you're after the one that says, yeah, we're going to buy this. Yeah, we're going to invest in this. We're going to make this work, not just for a season, but for multiple seasons. How do you make those kinds of decisions? What goes into the yes, we will versus the we'll wait and see?
I mean, there's so many moving parts to this. Like Shane just said, there were so many options and things we looked at. It comes down to efficiency across the property. Is it going to help again? Is it going to help our labor? Is it going to help our efficiency? Is it going to help our customer service? Is it going to help our guest experience on the golf course when it comes to the GPS? And it's just across the board. What can we get in quickest that's cost effective? We're lucky to have a single owner who will let us reinvest into the property. And that helps us along the way. But with the size and scope of Garland, it's been, Shane and I have sat down with GPS companies and new golf management systems, and it's tough. I mean, you got to look at every single budget in the resort to make sure it makes sense. And whether that's us outside of technology, us building a short course that costs 7 figures, hiring new staff that we need that we haven't had to fit everything together, and it's tough, and it's what we're here for.
Yeah, a lot of it is feeling, what you feel strongly about, you go with it and see and adjust all those things. As again, been there, done that, I have to say. We just got a few minutes left, so I'll start with you, Shane. What were a couple of the challenges that you faced this year? Was there anything particular in 2025? We know we had a great year, a banner year. Was there anything that was particularly challenging, and you feel like sharing a story about how you faced it, how you handled that challenge?
So the most challenging thing we faced up here was we had what it was called a 100-year storm. We got, in the course of 2 days, what I would say is 2 or 3 inches of ice, and the temperature never rose above freezing. So we lost tens of thousands of trees, and we were scheduled to open with 3 courses, and we could only open 2. And we had to delay the 3rd course by 2 weeks and the 4th course by a week or so. So our first 2 weekends, we were almost sold out, and we had to call every golfer on the tee sheet and tell them that we had to change all their itinerary for 2 or 3 days. Their meal plans were going to be different. And I thought that was going to be more of a struggle than it was. Everybody was so happy that we were even open. Not one person didn't come. There were no refunds. Everybody came up. Everybody had a great time. They were literally just happy that we were open, along with our competition. There's so many golf courses in northern Michigan, got hit so hard. So that was our biggest struggle. The second struggle was just, in my mind, a budget, trying to keep the budget in check with the rising cost of goods and the minimum wage going up. It's hard to have 4 golf courses, staff them appropriately, and try to keep that budget down. So that's something we're looking at. And that's something that I think AI and technology will help us in the near future.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really good story. You brought up some issues that I know are very common to other properties near you and a distance from you. David, I'll ask you the same question. Were there any particular challenges that you faced in 2025? And are there any particular strategies that you're planning to launch or implement in 2026?
I'll go back to the ice storm Shane just mentioned. Obviously, the golf courses were hit hard. Not only were the golf courses hit, our employees who may live 5 minutes away or 30 minutes away, their homes were hit. And we were lucky to have a team that got our courses cleaned up and opened. That was a challenge that I hope we never go through again. I know we all learned a lot from it. Some smaller other challenges, just randomly, that's probably not going to be affected to anybody else, but having to switch our cable company switched out with somebody else. So we had a 3-week process of switching our TV and internet in the lodge and the guest villas, which was a nightmare. But those are the things that our guests don't see that we have to deal with. The ice storm, obviously, they did see that across the property and the region. This is actually going into the off season. Is obviously I love being open in the summertime, but I genuinely enjoy sitting down with our team, with Shane, our director of sales, our guest services manager, and our superintendent to figure out what we are going to do different next year. So these are the conversations we're having now. I wish I had a better answer for you as far as strategies, but that's what we're getting ready to start.
Well, that's a great answer. And I'll just wrap up with you just asking, we're going into the winter months now, and it's going to be a little bit chilly most of the time for playing golf. What do you do up at Garland Lodge and Golf Resort during the winter months? Is there a lot of fun? Should I come? What do you think?
You should come up. We start our winter season with a massive New Year's Eve bash with a wonderful dinner and live music. We have a great band that's coming in this year, and then we're open on weekends throughout February, doing Nordic Nibble and Noshes, which are cross-country ski events on the golf courses. We'll do sleigh rides, special dinners. We're going to do a wild game dinner and a beer dinner just to keep the members that are here entertained and some of our staff going. Hopefully we have the snowfall that we did last year. We had a great year of snow, which helped with some lengthy cross-country trails. And then, we'll shut down in the spring, and then we get going for 2026 summer and 1st of May.
Well, Shane, that sounds pretty good to me. Anything you wanted to add there at the end?
No, I think Dave nailed it. We're getting ready for winter, working on 2026, and it's full steam ahead.
Beautiful. Full steam ahead. I like the spirit there. Well, guys, I can't wait to come visit you up at your place and see what's going on. But thank you for taking the time to explain to us and our many listeners exactly what you're doing and why, a little bit about why Garland Lodge and Golf Resort is so great and so popular. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Shane, for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Michael. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Those guys are so different. Obviously, everybody does things a different way, but they're so similar in that they're working hard. They're going to conferences like TechCon, going to Golf Business Conference in January, and they're going to see what other people are doing, what other vendors are doing, and how they can implement those things into their properties to make sure that we all get the very best that they have to offer. I really admire those guys, especially in their environment. Their physical environment is so challenging, and I just think they're doing amazing work. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a segment that I did and recorded at TechCon just outside Dallas this year. It's going to be with a great guest. I know you'll love it. So, as I often say, go get yourself a cold beverage and a crunchy snack. We'll be back with more Golf Business Live. See you in a minute.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Golf Business Live. I'm your host, Michael Williams. We're going to have a great show for you today. We're here at TechCon 25 here in Frisco, Texas. Our first guest today is someone who really knows, I think I know a little bit about golf. This guy knows a lot about golf. He is the Director of Business Strategy for Lightspeed Golf. Please welcome Matt Welliver.
Thank you.
And Matt, if you start to unbutton, they'll scream louder.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
I just want to get started with congratulations on your study just completed with National Golf Course Owners Association. Congratulations on that. It really is an outstanding piece of work. I don't know if everybody got to see it, and we're going to be talking mostly about that study, what it tells us about the relationship between the customer and technology and how we leverage technology to get more customers in and get them to stay longer and spend more money, which is what this thing is all about. So first, though, for those who aren't initiated, the very few who aren't initiated, talk to me about what Lightspeed is. Give me a 30-second pitch.
Right on. So Lightspeed, we're a cloud-based T-sheet point-of-sale food and beverage software application. We've been in the golf market for just over 8-9 years now. Lightspeed, you've probably used Lightspeed somewhere if you've gone into some sort of retail outlet, a bike shop, or in a restaurant. So chances are you've used Lightspeed before. We have over 2,200 golf courses as well worldwide. And so we're excited to be part of this white paper that we co-produced.
Outstanding. And so let's just dive right into that study because there's so much into it. We only have a few minutes. I just want to get to as much of that as we possibly can. First, I want to start with how long did our study take to do? How long did it take to do that?
Oh, well, it's been probably about 6 months going through data. We've been surveying, not only golf courses data and going through that information and surveying our customers, but also the actual golfers themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the way I read it, there are basically two distinct categories that we cover during the study. One is how to get golfers to the course. Get them out actually onto the property, and then driving revenue once they're there. Do I have that right?
You got it. And then there's a third, which is the follow-up, the retention, the re-engagement side.
Exactly. So getting them back to the golf course once they leave, retention there. So I picked out a couple of statistics that I thought were kind of interesting about the study. So let me start off with one, which is the average incremental spend above green fee. And that has increased. The average incremental spend above greens fee has gone from, it's between 36 and 52% for golfers now.
Yeah.
Again, you want to describe that. What's the layman's description for what that is?
So basically, if you have a $50 green fee, the average golf course, if you're an 18-hole golf course, they're spending somewhere $25 more in incremental revenue. So they're purchasing golf balls, shirts, you name it, food and beverage of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so we're talking about this. Let's go with a couple of specifics that I saw in the study. The thing that caught me immediately was booking with credit cards. And you smile. Yeah. And I know that everybody has a reaction when you talk about booking with credit cards. Some people smile, and I see a couple of grimaces out there. Is that still problematic for golfers to book with credit card for a golf course, and are there different solutions available now?
Yeah, it certainly is not a problem today for someone to secure their reservation with a credit card. I mean, everything, and you guys all know this, right? We've talked about this for numerous times and numerous conferences over the years, that, trying to get a credit card was the first step. Now, everything that everybody does has to have some form of credit card to reserve. So if you're not doing it, you really do need to do that, because it has a pretty significant impact on the rest of the journey of that golfer at your golf course.
So, going back to the white paper, what it seemed to me is that the white paper kind of encourages this constant conversation between the golf course, the golf property, and the golfer themselves. If you agree with that assessment of it?
Oh yeah.
What do you think are the components of that conversation? What are we trying to say to the golfer and get him to tell us back?
Well, it definitely is an integral part of the customer journey to have communication with them about 24 to 48 hours before their tee time. We've been, technology providers out there, we've been having, being able to text and email the golfer a reminder of their tee time before their reservation. But today, technology out there, such as Priority and with CourseRev and Notify with their reserve or their Confirm platform, they're even more engaging with that golfer, making it like a two-way conversation, confirming that their reservation. So that communication now is expected. When I make a reservation from a hair appointment to a doctor appointment, you're getting those reminders in some sort of form, and you're getting them in more rich text format or even through automated voicemail. And that's here today with golf.
Yeah, and so I know that I have transferred to the point where I feel comfortable making a reservation online, but that didn't happen automatically. That took years and years and years. And now we have, our NGF data is telling us we have more people golfing than ever, or close to it. Are those people more comfortable with making reservations online, or do they have to go through the same type of period that I did?
The data shows that between people that are 18 and 44, 65% of that demographic are comfortable with booking a reservation online. And about 20% are saying that is the only way that they book. So as we surveyed the actual golfer data that we have, we're seeing that trend keep going up and up and up and up. But what's interesting is even hearing it yesterday as we were at the Tee Time Summit, still the average across the industry is only 20-25% are the rounds booked online in total.
In total. So there's still tremendous upside for this, especially with this new group of golfers that's coming in. And let me again sort of parse out that new group of golfers that's coming in that sort of pushed golf for the last few years. Are they more or less likely to use things like mobile phones or?
Oh, yeah. It's 84% of how they book a reservation is through a mobile phone.
This new group of golfers.
Yeah, this 18 to 44 is, of the 65% of the reservations that they're making, 84% of that is being done through their mobile phone.
So would you say that the industry should be focusing its attention on this new group, this 18 to 44, or should we take a broader look? Or what would you advise?
I certainly advise on looking after who is your customer, no matter who they are. I think you always still got to adapt to who your right customer is. You still need to be able to offer the phone reservations. You still need to be able to speak to somebody live. That's just something that, is in, certain people's nature, and that's just how they're going to do it.
Yeah. And so the mobile phone itself, we can just go up a level. The mobile phone is obviously taking a huge place in all of our lives. I see people looking at them now. And I just wonder what is the significance in the golf industry? Have we really fully appreciated the importance of the cell phone, the mobile phone in people's lives?
Well, from a B2C perspective, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I think now where we're going to start to see some further evolution is on the B2B side. Technology vendors still putting everything in the palm of the operator's hand, building AI into that, so that it enhances the experience. Like I think, as you said, I think everybody here almost has a hand in their phone right now.
Right.
So, or a phone in their hand, but anyway, so it's that's where I'm going to be seeing, at least from Lightspeed's perspective, we're already developing tools like that in order to accommodate the B2B side to ensure that we're continuing to develop that and innovate.
Well, let's talk about the B2B side, because you mentioned companies that are using things like automatic tee services, the tee service that book. How do you see that as an important component in what golf courses have available to themselves for booking, and how does Lightspeed connect with those types of services?
Yeah. So I was thinking how is the best way to answer that question, and I know a stat from a very specific golf course, and really how he said it to me was, what would a golf course do to increase their round played by 9%? And what what they did was they implemented Notify, and that tool basically decreased their no-show rate from 10% down to less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%. And it just goes to show just how, we take a very partner-forward approach, and we work with companies like that, and how they take something that's a problem and just innovate that so well to be able to have such a huge impact on a business like that, to be able to increase their rounds by 9%. Like, that's pretty profound if you think about that.
Over what period of time are we talking there?
Oh, that was month over month.
Month over month, 9%.
9%. That's how much they cut their no-shows down by.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of incredible. So can people expect to see that type of improvement month after month after month, or does that start to? Yeah,
so that was like, they're definitely continuing that trend, and they're seeing that that their no-show rate is sitting below 1%. And that's awesome to see. And more golf courses, I think, are all starting to leverage these tools more and more. The interesting thing is, like, every golf course more or less has some of these tools already. They just need to be able to use them a little bit better, and work with their golf management system provider to ensure that they're maximizing that.
Outstanding. We'll take a quick break. I just want to say two things. Number one, that Golf Business Live is powered by Tag Marshall. Bodo, you're out there somewhere. And number two, we do want to take questions from you. I know you may have some questions that you have for Matt, and I don't get a chance to do this when we're doing it recorded, so I would like to get some questions from you if you have any. So please just put your hands up, and we'll get a mic. Will we get a microphone out there? We have a question already? There you go. Do we have a microphone? Okay, microphone coming at you. Do.
So my question's for Matt. I'm curious, as we're leaning into AI and we're seeing technology change, what do you see the future of tee sheet management looking like? I'm just kind of curious, we're folding in wait list and other items. What do you see the tee sheet adjusting to over time?
So that's a great question, because it's one that I don't know the right answer to. I just know that AI is going to allow operators to do their business a lot better, to make better decisions a lot faster, to help them already with suggestive ideas and ways to action on things quicker. That's where I see everything coming. I don't think that it's going to completely automate their business, but I think it's going to give them the tools to make them do their job a lot better.
Of the 36 to 52%, how much do you have a breakdown of that? How much is F&B? How much is merch? 36 to 52% incremental spend?
Yeah, so it's about 75% on the food and beverage side.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions that were out there? None out there? Okay, we'll just go ahead and continue, you and me.
Sure.
So we talked about the tee time waitlist technology. Another statistic that I had, I know this one's a little bit esoteric, that the length of the visit at U.S. golf courses is up, and we measure against 2019. It's up from 10%. It was up 10% in 2022, and now it's up to 28%. The length of time that people stay off the course in 2024, stay on the course, at the course. What are some of the best ways for operators to maximize that time that people are on the golf course or at their property? We have lots of new tools, of course, Top Tracer and all sorts of other technologies and things like that. We have the Pro Shop. We have food and beverage. What are some of the effective techniques that people are using to get people to not only to come, but to stay?
Yeah. And I think, in trying to get people to come and to stay, it really, there is a lot. One of the ones that I'm just a big proponent for is loyalty programs. Since the day I've been part of this, involved in technology, that's been my big thing. A loyalty program gives you a reason to communicate with the golfer, to market to them. It gives them a reason to open stuff because it's relevant to them. It allows you to target them to come at certain times. And while you have them there, you're able to then target, using things like the QR codes, that are on the screen here, right? Like, we saw that in the data, 65% of golfers want a fast and easy, convenient way to order food and beverage. And that's what they want, and that's not what they're getting. So, and that's where I think that the top tracers of the world and putting in simulators, we're seeing a huge adoption on the QR code side of the business and implementation of that. And that's really cool because that's providing convenience, speed, and giving them, and it sort of ties back to the data of what people are looking for.
Interesting. And any other techniques or technologies that are out there that people either are using or should be using to get people to come and stay?
Well, I think social media is a big component of that. Yeah, and I think, and we all know you all wear multiple hats at your businesses, and that's where, some of your partners, your technology vendors offer dynamic management, revenue services, marketing services, and that's where they're able to help you drive demand. We see on average rounds are up 4%, revenue up 5.4%. And then even like website activities up 142%. So by working with your tee time management, provider there, if they offer a digital marketing service program, definitely jump on board with that. I see, some customers here that, have told me already how much they appreciated the services that we offer, and definitely it's had a huge impact to them.
So for doing that sort of thing, I know that when I managed golf courses, we were small. We didn't have a lot of people to do a lot of things. Yeah. And social media, telling my age, but it just come out, and we had to really sort of decide and sort of take turns doing that. Do you recommend bringing on a dedicated person to your team to do that? Do you recommend outsourcing it to someone else? Does it depend? How do we do that?
Yeah, I believe if you can do it, you should be able to do it yourself. Okay. And that's because you're there, you're in the moment, you're able to capture things right then and there. But we also know that that's, sometimes a cost that a golf course can absorb. So, you can plan these things in working with an outsourced company, have this stuff already all done up in advance, and then maybe you can tag team it with them as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got to ask, with your company, where does Lightspeed come into all of this? How do you take all of these ideas and sew them into a strategy, into a product? How does Lightspeed apply themselves to what this ultimate goal is, to get more people to the course for longer?
So, today it almost seems like T-sheet point of sale software is somewhat agnostic, and we're definitely moving into a service side of the business. Mm-hmm. So we're helping golf courses now use the technology, making sure that they're leveraging and getting the most that they can out of it. But really then moving into the marketing side has been huge. There is definitely tee time managed services as well that companies offer. And it's sort of this evolution that I think, us service providers are going to continue to evolve. Okay.
Yeah. So into the future, let's put up the crystal ball and say, what technologies do you see coming up in the future that are sort of experimental now, but will be absolutely essential in 3, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think that it's like there's so much happening so fast right now, but 3 to 5 to 10 years from now is really going to be tough. But I think that we're going to be able to have quicker information that's actionable from your phone. You'll be able to make decisions from this room, be able to send out marketing campaigns by just sitting here and pushing buttons, or not even needing to do that. Set up the parameters and let your system do it all for you. Yeah.
How often do you get a chance to visit golf courses and things like that? How often do you get out?
So this year, the last 12 months, I made it a point to always play when I travel. Before that, I haven't, being a dad with young kids. But now I've made it a point to play, and I'm certainly enjoying it.
Do you see it differently when you play than when writing a paper is one thing, and getting, an opinion, expressing an opinion, that sort of thing. Yeah. Is it a little bit different when you actually have to experience it yourself?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I sit there and like my club uses some very old software, and I'm just like, why can't I leverage some of these things, Yeah. Yeah. It would just be amazing to be able to be that.
Do you have a home course?
I do. Yeah. Back in Montreal.
And it is?
It is Summerlee Golf Club.
I'm sure they'll appreciate being
Yeah.
on here.
There you go.
They absolutely will. Do we have any other questions from the audience? Okay, beautiful. Allison. We're going to get a microphone. Microphone's coming.
Hey,
Hi.
good job, guys. Thanks for doing that study. I have a kind of I guess we're at TechCon, so I have a tech question. I have always wondered why point of sale software are not using QR codes for checking in and like using Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, something like that. I'm curious if some of the things like, I was really surprised to see that golfers are really wanting mobile ordering, and I just was kind of thinking to myself, how can I make that easier for them? But a lot of it is tech, like the tech just isn't there. And I'm curious, is it because operators are not asking for it, or is it just really difficult to program? Or, what kind of things like, can push some of these things forward, you as a software company?
Yeah.
Do you want us to beg for it or what?
So please beg, yes, no. I would say this, it's not difficult to program. Probably our product managers would hate me for saying that. Nothing's easy, but there are some things that I'd say are pretty straightforward. It's just not been the demand. The whole, I work with a couple of golf clubs that have implemented QR membership cards. And that's what they use to show when they go to the point of sale. They scan, gets them in through gates. It gets them, it authenticates them in the food and beverage for what type of discounts they get. But what you had brought up earlier was a pretty great idea. I actually wrote it down about, imagine having a world where your tea time is living in your wallet just like everything else does, and it's scanned when you arrive. Like that's sort of your form now of currency. Yeah. So yes, we'll work on that for you.
Do you have any other questions? Any others? Any other questions? I think we're about time, and I think that pretty much leads us to our point of time. Again, Matt, I want to thank you. I used to think I was tall and had a deep voice until you showed up, but
we had to do it sitting down.
I appreciate that. Matt Welliver, Lightspeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.